Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read. You're going to love it today. The sun is shining and I was guided to draw a sunshine at the top of my page this morning. So I'm going to give you some of the stuff before the read because it all leads into the read. So bear with me. It is July 7th, 2019. It is the 7 of the Chariot, boldly going where no man has gone before. Rising and ascending and very strong. The day adds up to 26-8, which is the Page of Wands. So we have a 7 and an 8, so the calm before the storm and the storm. And the 26 of the Page of Wands is very much about being an excitable boy, curious, inspired, but also on the negative side, you know, can be someone who's uninspired or having temper tantrums or just all over the place, frazzled, you know. So those are some of the energies today. But why did I write that down? I wrote the Page of Cups instead of the Page of Wands. I wonder why. The Page of Cups definitely came up as very significant in the read today. So I guess Spirit's telling us they're one and the same. All the children are God's children. And the number 54 was significant today too. It's the Page of Swords, all right? So here we're bringing up all the pages. So what's the one missing? Page of Pentacles. So we'll see what happens with the Page of Pentacles today because he was the one missing from the group that just came up. And today's lesson is it's always about what's missing, the space between. So I woke up this morning at 9:55. I know it sounds late to you guys, but I was up very late. I mean, I usually don't go to sleep till somewhere between 11 and 2 a.m. So for me, that was a really good night's sleep. So I really needed it because I hadn't been sleeping well the past few nights before that. And my house is getting very hot because I need Freon in my air. So I have to call and get that still. So I've been sweating a lot on top of the spontaneous sweats that I have from the masculine coming in at times. But I woke up at 9:55. 9 is the Hermit, 55 is the Ace of Swords, the truth. I remembered something that I dreamed, but then I lost it as soon as I went to write it down. But I haven't done my sand art in a long time, which I didn't do for you guys, but when I woke up this morning, I hadn't turned it over in a long time. I'm not sure how long it was. And so I just decided to turn it over this morning. And also when I've been turning it over recently, it was just kind of sticking and it wasn't really doing a lot of design. It was just turning over and all the bubbles were just stopping it all the way across in a straight line. So it kind of was doing that again today. And it looked like just the top teeth smiling before I started today. And then as I turned it over, it did mostly stop. But then from one small spot, the space between, the sand started to come down, right between the two front teeth in the scene, and it ends up developing into a mountain range. So the space between the two front teeth, so the gap between, and then I was guided to the mountain range, and then two separate mountains came up on either end of that mountain range in a very slow way. One was a pyramid, like pointy mountain, the other one was curved on top. Oh, it was just getting, what is it? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So that's the feng shui of cradling a home. Like the best feng shui for a house is to be cradled in the mountains where it's high on one side and low on the other. And so that kind of idea was coming up here. But for me, I'm near the Delaware water gap, so that was definitely coming up. And literally, I was getting the water gap in the picture of the sand art and the mountain ranges. So that may relate to you in some other way, but that's what it was for me. And that was at 10, it was 10:01 to 10:21 when I went back to check the end of the sand because it took a while for the last one to come down. So then, and I keep forgetting to do things. You know how when you walk into the other room and you forget, and you know, before we would have gotten so frustrated. Now it's like, okay, I guess I gotta go get it. You know, it's so you've learned not to be triggered about these things, and again and again and again and again. I was being reminded of that today when I kept forgetting something from my room that I had to bring into this room. So it's just being patient with yourself. There is no hurry. You know, we've been so conditioned to be in a hurry. It's about just being patient with yourself and letting go. All is well in every moment. So it is hot and humid. I can definitely feel it since I don't have enough air conditioning in my house right now. But there's definitely a reason for that, and I think that some of the sweating I'm doing is actually a purge, and that's just my way, my physical way of purging right now. Definitely have been seeing a lot of like guys randomly. When I went out to water my flowers this morning, my next door neighbor was out the first time I went out, and I didn't really notice what he was doing, but I had to run back in to get more water, so I did. And when I came out, he was still standing in the same spot on the sidewalk, you know, looking at me like he wanted my attention, which I did say hello and good morning and all that kind of stuff, but then I went back in because I had things to do, but I kind of felt bad because he looked like he wanted to talk. Then, and like I told you before, you know, yesterday the mailman came up for a signature, which I wasn't expecting, and then there was a man in white across the street. So the men are slowly coming out to be recognized and bringing attention to you. So I was writing, as I got the chariot at 10:29, I was getting, my solar plexus started to get nervous. So the masculine attention, and like what I just brought up, at that time is important because I was watering my rose bush, which is new this year. I just planted it, so I'm not really sure how much water it needs and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of it was just dying when I was watering it, so I kind of let it alone for a little bit. And so I gave it more water today, but then noticed it was sprouting new leaves. So the bush part was dying, but now it's sprouting brand new leaves, which was great to see. So rebirth was definitely coming through. Then at 10:44, 44 being that Four of Cups, the mastering, grounding, and integrating, I was shuffling and the tower popped out by itself and kind of on its side. It wasn't like the explosive event, but it did clearly slide out of the deck on its own. So definitely wrapping up stuff surrounding sudden events, epiphanies, whatever the masculine's going through at the time. And at 10:45, I cut the deck and dealt, and at 10:46, 45 and 46 are the Five of Cups, which is the passing the third to the fourth baton, or not doing it. And 46 is the, you know, Six of Cups, the children in the garden, which was reversed in the read today. I was getting at 46, don't be in a hurry to accept proposal quite yet. And it can be any kind of proposal. It doesn't mean it's a marriage proposal, but it's saying don't, in general, just don't be in a hurry, right? Just because someone gives something that was unexpected doesn't mean you have to accept it right at this moment if it's not all that you want. 10:58, 58 is the Four of Swords, which was the end clarifier today, upright. The 10 of Swords and the Seven of Cups. 10 of Swords was reversed in the read, and Seven of the Cups was also reversed, right? So dumping all the extraneous stuff, but they were stuck together. So they kind of go hand in hand, ending all of the pain, allowing everything to fall out of you, which actually brings pleasure, right? And letting go of all the stuff that you don't need anymore. So in letting go of your stuff, you'll release some of the pain from your body. So at 10:57, the King of Wands and the Hanged Man awake were also sticking out of the deck together to be pushed out for me to take them, because they weren't really where I usually pull the cards from, but they wanted to come out today. That was the King of Wands and the Hanged Man awake. And the King of Wands came up reversed in more than one place today. So at 11:01, as I was doing my gilded cards, and you can see them there at the top on the left in the star, that's when I started sweating. The Queen of Wands was stressing him out major. This is for the karmic and the masculine. At 11:03, the Three of Orbs knocked off kilter due to changes from the EIG to the 8. And for me, EIG is the Euro-India Gateway, or a bridge, a gap. It was pushing that gap out of the way to see the 8, the crazy 8s. The way the dance flows back and forth to close the gap. And then I was getting a physical separation, so that could be for the masculine if he's still in partnership, but there could definitely be a physical separation. August was coming up. July 7's been coming up a lot too. So there's definitely a lot of masculines who are still in partnerships who are separating this month and next. I was definitely getting unions would start now, but also really significantly towards August and September. And as I started to read, the Sovereign was present, coming up as the show of power of the Divine Feminine is a gift to the masculine. That you are the left flame or the high road, the arrows of love expressing passions back and forth, taking the high road, like the 8 between the gap, so cool, like in the mountains, like literally, taking the high roads back and forth, right? Like you know how mountain roads twist around like an 8. Very cool. That's doing the dance, is taking your time, going back and forth over the gap until it's closed. I just got that now. So keep doing the dance until that gap is closed, and then you go on to the next, and again and again. I was also getting a significance of these physical separations and or unions between August 3rd and September 3rd, and very important to take the high road at that time. So whether that's literally or figuratively, because you could need to take a certain route up the mountains, but that could be just figuratively as well in your life. Just make sure to be okay with going back and forth, expressing back and forth, and taking the high road until it's done. At 11:11, the gap must open to have a breakthrough. Then the opportunity, that gives you an opportunity to close the gap between you. So you must create a gap in order to close it. And I got that message from a movie last night. Not a movie, I was watching Czars, which I don't usually watch any of the series because I'm trying not to get addicted to shows and things like that. But in the series, the monk who had been traveling and become very wise was still a bit of a philanderer and still liked to manipulate women into being able to touch them and have sex with them. He would tell them that it's okay to sin because what is said in that belief was that you must sin in order to repent, right? So it's so funny how hearing that yesterday came into this message just now, okay? So again, the gap must open to have a breakthrough. Then that gives you the opportunity to close the gap between you. One must sin in order to repent. And then at 11:14, I got dancing in the moonlight every day. All right, so again, that's the 8 of dancing round and round with each other. Dancing in the moonlight every day. And you notice the contrast between moon and light, the dark and the light. Dancing between the dark and the light every day. At 11:15, all 8 cups disappear. And now I'm getting deep connection all over my body. 11:15, which is the justice and the devil. Dancing in the moonlight was the justice and the angel. Now we have justice and the devil. All 8 cups disappear, which is the masculine walking away from the relationship. The Queen of Wands, I was getting definitely, for somebody or more than one, the Queen of Wands, the karmic, it has a female lover because they're not straight, they're gay. And if not, it's just her loving herself right now. And to just let it be messy for a while. That was 11:19. Justice and the Sun, 19. So very masculine energy coming in here. So when I was guided to draw the sun up at the top, again, I was getting 16 rays. So allowing the tower to happen, the messiness, it's okay. You don't have to clean up right away. Just allow it to be what it may. Okay, the gap until it closes. Allow the tower to come in again and again. Close each gap and then begin again. So that was definitely a message, and some of that just pieced together now, so that's very cool. Just want to make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, so the 8 of Wands was coming up too. The sun, I was also guided to write a happy face on the sun, but it was a happy face with the eyes closed. So it was showing the masculine being very peaceful with a peaceful smile on his face. And the 8 of Wands. Oh, because in the Sirian Starseed deck, I was trying to figure out why I wrote the 8 of Wands down. But the Sirian Starseed deck, the 8 of Wands is just a circle, kind of a shutter type circle. It's showing the shutter lines. So that was coming up as the sun. And don't forget that that's the pupil. right? Allowing how much, you get to decide how much light you want to get in by opening your eyes, right? Or going out, in and out of the dark and the light. Okay, so it's a perfect relationship to what just came up. And isn't Spirit so smart? Okay, so now we turn the page. It's 11, the read for the masculine twin flames. And don't forget, this is masculine within the feminine as well. So if you're a lot of masculine, this read can be very much for you, feminine. 11, 18 to 19. So here we have justice of the moon and the sun. Okay, the dark and the light, and the justice between them. The masculine read was done at, the major arcana were just, and that was cool too. I literally finished pulling in 18 to 19, and the major arcana were Luna, Starseed, and Solar Deity. So that's the sun and the moon with the starseed between them, which is that new life, that new leap of faith, the new beginning, is between the sun and the moon, right? The space between. So I did a little bit of stuff. I'm not going to go into it too much because I'm going to develop that a little bit. But in talking about the Delaware Water Gap, which is near me, and the gaps between in the mountains, so you may be called to travel right now as well, or make plans, that kind of thing, or just get away for vacation. I was guided to Skytop, and Skytop also is referencing God today, so it was very significant. Also, 2 hours and 14 minutes came up, which is Valentine's Day, which is the Chinese Valentine's Day, is coming up on August 7th. I think it's the 7th. And so in this regard, I did want to bring that stuff. Also, when I was looking up different directions and trying to figure out distances and things like that, it also came up on Skytop at 44. Because I remember when I've gone to Skytop before, and I remember exit 44, and 44 is my life lesson number. So it's coming up again here. So I looked it up, North Counseling Center, which was a marriage counseling center, 44, which was in New Jersey. Also in Syracuse, their shuttle route, number 44, was to Skytop there as well. Let's see if there was any other things from my little rant of search there. So New York City came up again as well. Pittsburgh, and also the vortex, because we have a vortex in the mountains nearby. All those kind of things were coming up. Pokemon came up, as well as King County. Route 44 Market, South African food. That was in Stellenbosch, which I'm not sure where that is. But obviously it was another country, not here. And the coordinates were coming up. So coordinates were big today. I don't know why. I was getting, cool coordinates like 41, which is the Ace of Cups, and 75, which is the Seven of Cups. So in that respect, I knew why I was getting it. At some point, 4 and 7 came up. 44 and 47. So again, because I kept looking up, I thought the root was 44, but it wasn't. It was 447. And then I was getting, again, remember how I brought up the 40s to the 70s? That keeps coming up over and over again. Well, that came kind of together today. And that's, let's see, where did that go? And number 80 came up as well as 33, 78, and 22. All of those highways were coming up. I just wanted to see what the 4 to 7. Also, Mount Zion came up, so that's important. And the Shawnee Mountains and Hawk Mountain and Camelback Mountains, which are all in, the Poconos. A Paper Mill Road came up, which is, I have one near me as well, so that might resonate with somebody. And just the number 80, because in the code line, that definitely came up as well today. I just want to see where that 4 and 7 came together. Yeah, I'm not finding it right now, but if I come across it, I'll let you know. So the message here with the Divine Masculine read, there were 3 swords, 3 wands, 1 pentacle, 1 cup. So that's 3311. The only court card that came up in the read was the Queen of Wands, but after the read was the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, and before the read was the Knight of Pentacles, which is not a court card, but I often see it as a person. It can just be a sovereignty, or sovereignty. And then we have the code line here for the masculine. It was all about individuality and physical activity today. The numbers, the other numbers were 5, 4, and 9. So again, that 54 came up. 9 of the Hermit, and the End, the completions, the collective consciousness, and wisdom. Also 26 and 33 were coming up. 26 is that Page of Wands. 33 is that the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself without being defensive. So again, not even triggering yourself when you forgot to bring something in from the other room. 33 came up again. The 88. So that's the two twins side by side, centrally integrated within their masculine and feminine, and working together. Okay. Also, the 8 on its side for me represents the same thing. So 1 8 on its side is the same as 2 8s upright. It's the twins together, integrated. 38 is the Queen of Cups, also came up, and the sequence 3 through 10 came up. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 begin again. So now we've covered a lot of backtracking, right? 3 through 10 to begin again. And what was missing? So it was 1 2. 1 2, buckle your shoe. So start over again. Also, it's of the 12 of the Hangman and Wisdom, so just hang out and be wise. 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the Destiny card. The High Vibration also came up. So here comes, I wrote down the 4 to 7 here. So let's see, I have 38 and the 4 to 7 gap between. 44 to 77, 47 to 74. They've all been coming up in the past weeks. So you see that 38 flanks 4 to 7. So 44 to 7 is the gap between. So it's covering that ground between the 3 and the 8, the 4 to the 7. Again, it's saying like you did 3 through 10, and the teacher's now telling the student to go back to do 4 through 7 again, right? So that has to do with security and stability. 5 of change, you know, all the sweet stuff where you really need to be sitting and really get to know well, because that's where you need to be, right? You need to be in the sweet spot of the 6 to 7, just above the middle, just to the light side of the middle, which is 5. You don't want to stay at 5 because that's a lot of chaos with change constantly. So you stay in the 6 to 7 most of the time and go back to the 5 when you expand. You can go down to the 4 at times, but you don't want to stray too much from that. So it's saying go back to that middle point over and over and over again to learn where you need to be. And then high top again comes up here. So having to do with individuality and physical activity, the code line here was very interesting. The 4 of Crystals, or the 4 of Pentacles, definitely came up here and the read as the challenge spot. The 4 of Pentacles, which is also in this deck, the 4 of Crystals, the Divine Masculine's heart, the Bat Cave. So that was definitely here in the code line. And the message was, and I have a couple different summaries here, but the feminine show of power to take the high road, the Euro-India Gateway, or the water gap, or any gap for that matter, or bridge, or the 8, right, the dance between and closing the gap. Take the high road, the 0, the human embodiment of source, and mix it up with the 8, crazy 8s. That's mixing up the twins with the 3D world. And then I was getting Saggy Street. So for me, I was at one point, I don't know if you remember this, I was from the Magician and Sage. When I only see SAGI, I've been getting Saggy is like God, right? Because Sagittarius is very much about seeking knowledge and expansion. So I was getting that God was calling himself Saggy. So I was getting definitely take the high road, Saggy Street, to Skytop, God. So I love how they do this. So I was getting to go somewhere, so 5 points, right? So 5 stars. So I was getting literally, this is how I connect the dots. 5 points, but lame, which is like a star, right? That's pointy, has 5 points, but it's sparkly or lame, showy, 5 stars. 4 of Pentacles, housing, reasonable. So go somewhere that's reasonable, but 5 star. To be me, to be individual and work out, do physical activity, go hiking, whatever it is. do outdoor stuff since it's summer and you can when you can't in the winter, right? So let's see. And yeah, don't forget Mount Zion came up as well. I'll have to see what develops on that. And that's Z, which definitely can be Zorro, Zeus, Zed, okay, which is completion and power. And Ion, of course, is the connection to the next. So it's the power of connection with Zion, Mount Zion. And Paper Mill Road, don't forget to recycle. And it's interesting too because the water gap is off Route 80, which is at 8 and 0. All right, so also Mount Zion was near North 5th Street, which came up in the coding, 5th Street. So, or also, you know, check out where your nearest vortexes are. You might want to travel to a spot that has a vortex just to sit there and meditate, see how it feels. Yeah, I was just looking to make sure because I've written a lot of stuff down there, but it's not necessarily something you guys have to hear. It's just a lot of stuff I was looking up. And was there anything else? I think that was it from this page. Also, by the way, the Hawk Mountain was 1700. The addresses are always cool. Skytop's address was 1, literally. And so that kept going on and on. As I turned the page, it was 127 to 128, the Ace of Wands and 2 of Wands, so the twins in their passion, right? New passion and creativity. The 3 of Orbs starts the read. I'm going to show you those undercards since you can't really see the pictures on them. So here's the 3 of Orbs, which the past 2 days has been the 4 of Orbs, so today it's the 3. Here we have the 9 of Pentacles, the 3 of Flames, and the 8 of Flames underneath this. Okay, so this is the 3 of Orbs, but you see in this deck it's very much, can often be about epiphanies with that lightning striking, okay? But the 3 of Orbs, lightning, not walking away, the Empress reversed in separation, broken heart, showing high vibration or magician embodiment, magnetizing north or northwest perhaps, to DNA strand. And then I was getting that broken down as divine director closing the gap, because NA is like, right, not applicable, like a gap. Divine director closing the gap, and then that was literally translating to Delaware water gap. So for me, but it relates to you as well, because you should get the same kind of information. And does it really matter which direction it's in, northwest, northeast? It all depends on your perspective. But I was getting that marriage is over. So there's, yeah, there was definitely getting marriage over in the read here. 2 Taurus, a 2 Taurus split, mother, business, karmic home, 2 world split by magician embodiment. The magician guiding me northwest or directly north with tools. And again, that all depends on your perspective. So if I say me, for this time, that was just me because I was trying to figure stuff out. But if I say me in this read today, because there was sometimes I'm speaking from the masculine perspective, it's like the masculine speaking, okay, to you. So the magician guiding you and directing you north, to your true north with your tools, saying, you have all the tools, right? So God is telling you that, Sagi, or Sagi. The pentacles, the cups, the swords, and the fire. You have them all. Go out and work with them. So the sovereign presently taking the high road to the bridge to gap, or to bridge the gap. Taking the high road, once again, to the nth degree, RI, right? Your independence. Or 3. I was getting 3 ETA, so estimated time of arrival, and that came up the other day too. Like, we have arrived. I also was getting bringing together the different races, cultures, whatever it is, you know, whatever the different cultures are, bringing them together and showing your joined arrival. The number 13 came up here, which is that transformation, death, going through the portal and completing that transformation, allowing it. Single and strong, present to one flame, expressing passions and heated exchange by taking the high road, love reign on me, to the nth degree. The heart rate, the HR is coming up as the heart rate, but that's like, you know, don't forget to go back to your heart, your home. The I to the third energy, right? So here it is again, going from back to you and then out to your extremities. It's the dance within, and then you do that same dance with your partner, your twin, and then you do that same dance out with the 3D world. It's the same thing, just on a larger scale. Back and forth, you do the dance until all the gaps are closed. Lovers, divine masculine, half of the 5D connection. Magenta and rose, grounding two swords. Ahead, holding back, a horse with no name. As the gate is swung open, there comes a stampede. The race is on, finding peace by water, physical fluid movement and creating. A chasm, a gorge, which is a yawning fissure, a deep cleft in the earth's surface. A breach or wide fissure in a wall or other structure, a marked interruption of continuity, or a gap, or a chasm in time. A sundering, and a sunder is a breaks, severing into more, at least two pieces. A sundering breach in relations, as a divergence of opinions, beliefs, etc. between persons or groups. So here again was showing you things on different scales. And just looking up, from Wikipedia and whatever definitions came up on the first page. So sunder is that break or severing, fracture, separate by or as if by violence or by intervening time or space. And then I started sweating more. As I looked online, the World Cup came up as the U.S. erupts in second half. Right, so here we're just talking about the masculine being one half of the equation. And then I look up the World Cup, U.S. erupts in second half. So also is coming up as second place. And this is why the partnerships are dissolving, because it's second place and not the top prize. All right, and that was at 205, which is the High Priestess and the Hierophant. So the fissure defines as a long, narrow opening or line of breakage made by cracking or splitting, especially in rock or earth. So it's about filling in these gaps or breaks. The chasm with death of a pink rose, separation of the Queen of Wands, finding peace without attention, not at work, but through third party through work, near death of work, home split, so that could be that two-world split, and this is about the divine masculine, to offer a new life soon, now magnetizing the gold coin and playing hardball, sorting out things at home and gardening, only surrendering within for now. The rooftop, skytop, lodging celebration after Tsar keeled over and last rites were waived, as Scorpio guards the body from the church and the children, because the body was very messy after the stampedes. Many had passed. And this syncs with the Tsar episode that I watched last night, because all the people had gotten, like thousands of people had died because they didn't schedule things right for all the people to come in and get free food. So the two worlds split, the chasm to prepare for a new life, the third energy, lightning struck, God's chasm. What God breaks or sunders apart, may no feminine try to glue it back together. No quick fixes again. And this is very much about Humpty Dumpty, right? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So it's very much saying when he falls from grace, do not put him back together, that he needs to do it himself. Turn the page, it's 226. 2 is the High Priestess, and 26 is that Page of Wands. Being inspired, being excited. Maybe even just excited about your own psychic or intuitive abilities. The Queen of Pentacles is out, but not seeing the Knight of Cups coming. The word is being spread that he is holding on loosely and grounding, stable, savings, the Knight of Cups boosted up with assistance, red boots child or red coats style, to a higher ground, feeling stable and secure now. Prince Charming on his white horse lists a cat call, a warning that he has all he requires and is completely self-sufficient. Batman has left the cave. The Cardinal and Robin are on their way. You deserve love came up first on top, but underneath that was pay attention to the red flags, your guidance and angels, your higher self. You deserve love came up, and he knows it. And that is why his arrow is pointed directly at 5D Sleeping Beauty, 2 darts at the breastplate to enfold her within it. His heart is open for business. A huge love, and the light flickered when I wrote that. And get your wish card, the 9 of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles obsession, his whole world now complete. You complete me. As I write down the numbers on the cards, and I'll show that variation or that display in a minute of those cards where I got that from. But the cards are literally listed in a triangle of 3 and 9, flanking the Queen of Pentacles, which is 39, or the Knight of Cups, which is just coming in offering love, and below that was 9, or the Hermit, and below that the XX1 of the World card, or double XI. So this was coming up as 3, 9, and then 9 is the bottom pyramid point. All that's missing is the Lovers, or the number 6, because 3 plus 6 would then complete the triple nines to complete 999. The double XI, when you reflect it, XXI, is IXX, reflects 19, the I double X of 7. So 1XX is 19, so that's the sun energy in the masculine, reflecting the XX1 of the world and the XX of the feminine. But I was getting here literally, and it's so funny, I was getting what's reflecting the masculine is I double X 7. 9 plus 9 plus 3 is 21. 21, 3 plus 21, 3 equals 42, 6. The 2 cups connected. The number 7 is coming up here because 7 is unbreakable. You cannot divide it. 7 is unbreakable, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 007 meets XX7. 007 plus XX7 equals 14, with lots of kisses and hugs, always merged by the 7, but always retaining their human masculine embodiment with femininity without questioning the why. It just is. Justice, just ice, to cool the heat. The Divine Masculine is currently working on how to fix your broken heart, examining every aspect of you while you're sleeping. With the help of Jesus, Thoth, Billy Goat, and Taupe Goat, I was getting Top Gun, Dark Coat, and Red Eyes, Red Coats, all up at night. At your feet, at your service. A foot rub, Pitocin to help you deliver. Haircut, whatever it takes, I'm yours, baby. Ice cream, not cake, please. A cruise move, or space shuttle now, landing. Major Tom. Pride comes up here, which is number 19 again, the sun and the masculine. The numbers with the cards that came up there were 55, 46, and 9 again, which have all been coming up. 55, the Ace of Swords, 46, the Children in the Garden, the 6 of Cups, and the 9 is the Hermit, which are adventure, domestic harmony, and completion. The masculine is, this is the masculine speaking. I was losing hope due to cowboy ghosting you and a negative past, bad memories when not using my intuition, but always feeling your beauty floating in the etheric realms, unable to face my past and leaving the starting gate, I mean the saloon, with all I could think of, leaving a few for the 3D cowboys to chew on. Now I'm about to light the Olympic torch. I've been given special permissions by the one who means the most. And that was at 3:03. Ready to lead the way and right the wrongs. As I turned the page, it was still 3:03. So that's very much about the Empress and the Empress and Gaia, expressing your authentic self and coming together. So, ready to lead the way and right the wrongs of the King of Wands reversed, leaving happy hour behind, as well as the 24-hour timer, the nag. No need for that chasm between the Tsar and the little people and shadows of the past. No upper crust and lower class. What better way to show that as the Olympic flame, one for all and all for oneness, as the 3D leaders fall from grace to face the crowd in burgundy hose, as he proclaims, time for us all to work on ourselves, to make peace and be over ourselves, and be our true selves, as I stand here in my pressure hose and reenactment costume with flame. This is who I am. You can hang with others if you don't resonate. And that was at 3:13. All right, Empress and the Death card, the portal. You can walk through the gate with me or you can stay behind. You're always welcome back if you change your mind. At 3:14, now the angels come in. The time is but an illusion, so take yours. King of Wands, separated and or broken, heartbroken, or may have dealt with heart issues, injury, or just out in the cold feeling abandoned, or went somewhere with snow or ice, or out for water ice with kids, and someone limping, or skating on thin ice and fell from grace, princess to high priestess. 3D to 5D. Chasm. Closing the gap. Grounded, pending new life with gold coin. The 5D Olympic gold medal. Major first prize. Proud of his sunshine. Out of adding insult to injury was his awakening, unfolding within the divine feminine's heart. And then I just noted that I'd been sweating a lot the last hour, so definitely giving birth, right? So recently, before I start that, I'm going to show you around the table so I can show you some of the stuff that I was getting. All right, we have the underlying energy there is that 3 of orbs, with the 9 of Pentacles, the 3 of Flames, and the 8 of Flames below it. The recent past, the 5 of Orbs, which energy of that was reversed today. So that's definitely ending the war. Then we have, underneath it all there is the Queen of Flames, but you can see she's kind of buried with all the crap that's kind of thrown all over the place there. And then we have the center of the read, which is the 6 of Flames, also reversed energy in this read, challenged by the Divine Masculine's heart, that 4 of Crystals or 4 of Pentacles. Going up to the crowning position, the moon, with all the, look at that tidal wave underneath the moon, ready to erupt. Definitely the waves of emotions, the tides coming in with all this moodiness of the Cancer season, okay? So we have the bridge here, bridging the gap from the present to what's coming, the next moment. The 8 of Chalices, you see there's a lot of cards there, a lot of stuff going on, okay? As the masculine sees himself as that new beginning of the Fool. This is the Starseed card, but it is coming up as reversed energy here. So it's allowing the fall in order to get up himself again, okay? Here are the Romance Angel cards, and then as we get the underlying energies, this is the assortment of cards where I was getting all the numbers, the 3, the 9, flanking the Queen of Pentacles in the middle, and the masculine obsessing over his 5D feminine in the other world. Okay, so you see that was really cool. Then we have the sun, or the solar deity around him. The blocks he needs to clear is that 7 of Swords, which is like codes coming in, and then at the end here we have the 10 of Wands, which was upright, so coming up from the dungeon or the basement, right? And then into the 4 of Cups, or the wishing on a star. That's grounding and integrating the Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Crystals, and then into the Queen of Swords, who's got her hand on the switch. Okay, and here's all the other cards. And then we have the last of the clarifier cards and that side note there. Okay, so that's everything. So I'm going to reposition this so you can see more of the read now. Let's see if we up just a little bit more for you guys. Okay, so that pretty much gets the rest of the read. Okay, so recently, having ended the war, magnetizing after explosion and falling apart, sunder, now chasm to fill, frustration from compressed energy without gaps becomes messenger of truth. Diamond is a little rough, but working on any less than desirable character traits. Anger, biting words, heartbreaker, and then I was getting Beeker, LOL. Beeker is very fragile, by the way. The angel riding back to process shame and guilt face to face in a face-off with the Queen of Cups reversed, X, to face the music, love no longer a battlefield, but inspiring. The foundation for the masculine, the Queen of Wands, emotionally detached and expressing feelings in a heated exchange, clinging to the Page of Wands for inspiration. Or the Divine Masculine, King of Cups reversed, is the one who's detached, telling the Queen of Wands that he was clinging to the relationship just for the kids and his own aspirations, and to save money to start a new life. Centrally for the masculine, no attention at home, defenseless to accusations, energies, and other physical attacks. The wounded warrior, injured physically, which caused his awakening, because he had to be still. And that came up at 3:33, which was big yesterday. Stressed about synchronicities and choices, decisions to be made, with kids and spreading the word about message of love. Hip hip hooray, 3 cheers. I turn the page, it's 3:35. 3 is the Empress, 35 is the Wounded Warrior, which we just brought up, and it's also Mary Magdalene, but here it's definitely coming up as the masculine. The 3 Musketeers, now add D'Artagnan to the mix. That's all there is to it. That was easy, wasn't it? It's like him talking to the kids. Fly through the air with the lightest, it's usually greatest of ease, but I was getting lightest. Fly through the air with the lightest of ease. This daring young man on the flying trapeze, his actions are graceful, all girls does he please. My love he has purloined away. One night to his tent he invited her in, filled her with compliments, kisses and gin, and started her out on the road to ruin. Since then, I have no repose. And that was written in 1867. 18 is the moon, 67 is that Knight of Pentacles, which is there at the end of the read with the Queen of Swords. And then just someone's blog site, Steve Hulse, Hulse, from February 8th, 2012.com. So it's stevehulse.com. Just something that came up said, to fly through the air accidentally or on purpose. That is the question, and that was at 3:44. And he was talking from Whidbey Island in the Pacific Northwest. So the Page of Cups is sweet love, pure and innocent. New love added to the mix. The challenge being the 4 crystals, the 4 pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart, the Batcave. A bit undone, healing, dreaming, in need of attention, but under the radar. Listening to announcements that are aimed at the Divine Masculines, waiting for the judgment call, in need of assistance, dumping attachments, selling stuff to raise money, in separation, not working or overworking and can't focus, purging and detaching, and spreading the word of love. Has been a challenge for him to save money since awakening, but now crowning is the moon reversed and breaking dawn. Dancing with the emotional tides and waves of new love coming together to detox, celebrate and purge together, hanging out wisely to detangle or disentangle the chains of events, present to ship, set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. 2, a stranded desert island. So I was getting a standard, someone's to a standard room, right? So they're going to a stranded desert island, but they're ordering a standard room, which was pretty funny. That just came up. Present from his past self. Now that it's good to cry, literally what's within becomes without when you cry. Cancer nights, a rocky ride, impatient angel for disconnect, having yard sales, etc. to liquidate, but need help. The Queen of Wands with female lover, or just giving herself love, feeling right elbow pain, flame is a pain, a thorn in her elbow. Passionately schooling while Leo packing, Queen of Wands breaking up due to flame between them. Queen of Swords talking to twin, and he's choosing her, the left feminine. When she speaks, the karmic is saying he listens. You know, like, why does he listen to her? Talking at the gate, where did all the horses go? Who left the gate open? Or who let the dogs out? Don't fence me in. Brighter days on the campgrounds, or MASH unit, or fair, where the Divine Masculine is sweetly schooled by Cupid about XX Divine Feminine. 20, judgment, and being fair, and what all that means, right? Because 20 is the judgment card, and XX is 20, and it has to do with two women, right? And being fair. The Queen of Wands everywhere trying to mess things up for him, and that was at 0404. Say Emperor times 2. So both of them acting like emperors, right? But he is over it. Wise to her radiation exposure. So she's being really bossy here. Super bossy. Then we turn the page, it's 405, the Emperor and the Hierophant. Sweet announcements to the Divine Masculine about fantasy family of the Queen of Wands and Queen of Pentacles next to each other, but him rescuing only one. The Queen of Wands still trying to dictate events, and Cupid schooling him on only listening to himself. So even if she starts dictating everything to do, he needs to practice now thinking for himself and not allowing her to tell him what to do. But there's a couple different scenarios coming up around this, because the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands are side by side, but they're both upright. However, there's frustrations around this, and being drained, and illness as well. So that means one person may be upright, but not in their right mind. And it also could represent a karmic, like I said, if they have a girlfriend. That's one scenario. Another scenario is that's the karmic next to another Queen of Pentacles that's not the feminine, because the feminine definitely comes up at certain points as the Queen of Pentacles. But that could be another, earth sign. It doesn't have to be the Divine Feminine. It could be a sister or a friend who's around the karmic, but also coming from family, because the masculine has his family, but he also has the karmic's family, right? So he may or may not get along with some of them. Exposing the Queen of Wands and her girlfriend to the family, so that may be one thing happening if someone has a girlfriend, or two females are frustrated, or that's frustrating the masculine, even if it's not a girlfriend, and then the karmic just has a girlfriend over, or a sister, or whatever it is. He's saying, I'm out of here, but says the Knight of Cups with love, okay? But he's not dealing with this. Or thinking of the two, the feminine and the karmic, sitting next to each other and comparing notes at holiday, or his family trying to welcome her into the fold, making sure he focuses only on saving himself, not taking sides. So this is for him, not his family necessarily telling him that, but him telling himself that, especially between his karmic and his family. If things don't resonate, he just leaves. So soon for the masculine are 8 chalices, but covered. It's like they were done. Not having walked away, but extended family disconnect now, sadly bowing out, sharing now just only out of prison, still the King of Wands reversed, needing to find his truth. So he still needs time away, like he's not like ready to handle things full on yet, right? To stand up for himself, or doesn't need to associate himself with family who are not in their truth, or still being abusive with their words, like learning to walk away and disconnect from those people. Girls socializing or happy hour, unsatisfying to him, working out and finding his truth, gaining clarity about his anger, big head, or need for attention, or just his awakening in general. The Divine Masculine is seeing himself as the star seed, but like I said, the Fool's reversed here, but allowing the fall, a big ball of ice, and he was saying not cubic, but a ball, present to the Queen of Cups reversed, Christmas in July. On an island unto himself, driving to work out, clearing the yard, and laying down swords, getting things done without arguing about it. All right, so if they're still under the same roof, or just going back and forth with kids, whatever it is, just getting, keeping his head down, getting things done without too much arguing, right? So engagement comes up, unrequited love, true love, finances and career, and stay optimistic. for the masculine from the romance angel cards. So stay optimistic about your love life. Same for finances and career, that they're affecting your love life. True love, right? This is a romance of a lifetime. And before that was just, so the engagement of changing levels in relationship may be not up but down, because we have unrequited love with that one. So leaving one relationship but then working on the next. Around him or how he is seen, the solar deity blasting at me. The hermit without light, powerless to its rays. No more battles or trying to pass the baton to someone else, so he doesn't have to lose money, status, or pride. Exposing his relationship, all about money and ego. No light, no authenticity. Only time not fighting was when he was alone or making money. He's a fresh new self, fully exposed, clearing blocks of receiving downloads, sneakiness, half-truths, and risky business. And there's a Tom Cruise moment again. And only receiving information to make family happy and keep him busy. The High Priestess' secret psychic abilities are an offer of love. Why do you run away from emotional fulfillment? Intention or intuition is your gift. Of the 40 rainbow bridge, also that gap, right? The 40 rainbow bridge to the pot of gold at the end, which is you. And the horses are off and running, filled with joy, feeling like a kid again as the swords all fall away. From the numerology deck, physical activities and individuality came up, but even more so, manifestation and spirituality for the masculine. No more jealousy or third parties. The number 16 came up, but the tower was reversed here. So it's in the aftermath of all the big stuff, so now just working through it. Working hard to come clean with all at work and practical life, waving goodbye to the devil of both the King and Queen of Wands. The King of Wands was reversed in this read, Queen of Wands upright. 2, the King of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright, and neither situation made him happy. Coming out of dungeon, the basement one step at a time, 434 is the Emperor and the Eight of Wands, that passionate exchange, which can be positive or negative. But it's also about the 3 to the 4 of the baton, but taking one step at a time out of that basement or dungeon, but feeling a little impatient, seeing the light a little bit at a time, acclamation, grounding and integrating. The King of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Wands reversed, and Tower reversed, but the Knight of Cups is good, and so is the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and her family. Starting over, following his true north, North Node Cancer, the Emperor split from Leo, Ego reversed, or King of Pentacles reversed, Ego Death. Grounding and integrated, now the Knight of Pentacles is looking it head on with a smirk on his face and a proposal of something grand only a loyal servant could imagine. With the Queen of Swords pulling the handle to switch lanes. In knowing the fall into deception, to the new moon, starting again and again to heal heartbreak and separation by reconnecting to higher self. Before I go on, I want to give you the court cards and the signs. So of the court cards, the Emperor was upright, the Empress was reversed, but there's all were upright except all of the kings were reversed, the Queen of Cups was reversed, and the Page of Pentacles was reversed. That was it. Everybody else upright. But all the kings were reversed, but the Emperor was upright. So the signs were Aquarius upright, Scorpio reversed, Cancer upright and reversed. So all the ones that were both upright and reversed, which means there's two different people in that sign, or it can mean one person sharing both expressions, the negative and the positive. And it can be, going back and forth, vacillating about things, okay? But the ones that were upright and reversed were Cancer, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Pisces, okay? As I said, Aquarius upright, Scorpio reversed, Libra was upright, Gemini was upright, Virgo was upright, and Capricorn was upright. Taurus was reversed. So Taurus and Scorpio. And Sagittarius was more reversed than upright. His minor card was upright. So Sag wasn't all reversed, but Sag was reversed also. So Taurus was really reversed in this read. Scorpio, and like I said, the other ones were upright and reversed, so they had some negative as well. But the ones that were just upright were Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Virgo, and Capricorn, okay? So starting over, when you know it's not you, right? It's not your authentic self. Instead of hanging into the end of the cycle, you know now to quit mid-cycle when you know at that point it's not for you. Instead of, lingering and just wasting your time because it's not really you. Justice, Judge, Libra, Divorce, past returns to test the masculine's worthiness and to offer up the gold coin to another, or just go back to the same old 5D connection. Like, does the masculine want to just continue his life forever in the 5D connection, or does he actually want a connection? Or instead, proposing everything you are, masculine, to turn the sealed divine feminine's world back around, dumping attachments that don't align with you both, until all dissatisfaction floats your boat, and you float away together in a gondola in Venice, where you simply fly away. Okay, so that was coming up. Bread and water. And by the way, this was 8 pages. Lightning and thunderstorm in a 2-world split. The Queen of Wands falls from grace, exposing war is over, in need of attention, but not the Batcave. Not walking away until coming clean about deception and burdens of starting over with the help of the Queen of Swords, with a stick shift or pull. Separation, war is over. The King of Wands is very tired. The Queen of Wands is embarrassed or without attention, or feels like a failure in deception, or in waking at dawn, or waking with dawn, the challenge being divine masculine's heart. Loss of faith in not walking away, or allowing the fall from grace to deal with emotions, exposing all, expose, of coming clean in the light of day. Coming out of the basement with 1 flame and 1 star, the Knight of Pentacles proposing to the Queen of Wands another way to happiness, to the 5D. So the central issue here was all about the 6 of Wands reverse, which is success versus failure, attention versus no attention, leader versus follower, good news versus bad news, right? Feeling like a failure here. Or just no attention and being okay without it. The issue and the challenge is stability, safety, the divine masculine's heart, and that Batcave, hiding his heart, is dark. So coming out into the light, 1 step at a time. So that was the read for you guys. It was a lot. I'm sweating my butt off right now. Like, seriously. So it's 1:02. Do you want a card? Sure. We're already over the hour, so what the heck. I will draw you a card. I have the Rider-Waite standard deck for that standard room you're going to have at that deserted island. Whew. So really beautiful read today, guys. It's been very consistent, like the energies, and I know you guys all feel it. Okay, depends on where you are, but like I said, I got the message of unions coming in from now through the Olympics. So as the different, those of you who've been doing this for, many years are obviously in the first group there, but there'll be many scattered unions coming in throughout this year and up to the Olympics. All right, so, and I've had many people tell me how their masculines have reached out to them, so this is real, you guys, okay? So let's see. Everyone take a deep breath. Today is 7/7/2019. 77. Oh, I want to note that too. In numerology cards, the cards that are showing are 77 and 19. So literally the date today was showing in the cards that got pulled, the top card that got pulled, and the 19, they're both purple, 7/7/19. So pretty cool. So everyone take that deep breath. This 7/7/19, July 7, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we all need to know? What do we need to learn? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Patience and sticky heat. All right, so yeah, so these 2 cards, let's see what's coming out here. These 2 cards came out together is the 4 of Cups and the Fool, free to take a leap of faith. So it's up right now, which is great. This is mastering, grounding, and integrating that offer of love, and then taking that leap of faith. So masculines are coming, you guys. The stampede We're let out of the gate. These two are next, all right? So this is regarding the family, so their energies may be a little fried. Maybe doesn't know what's up with the masculine, or this could be just, you know, the masculine, like, because of the family and all the people that he's responsible for, had all the intentions of riding forward quickly, but dropped at the last moment because of the family and all the things he's dealing with right now, okay? It's just like a message to you guys. Then we have these three, and I'm spreading them the other way because that's the way they want to be spread. All right, so these three, I just had to position them in my hand. Three of Swords, the Devil, and the King of Cups. So normally, you know, the three would be on the other side because that was the first one out, but it wanted to be positioned this way. So it's the King of Cups is definitely coming up as someone just detaching emotionally because they need to in order to leave certain situations, say goodbye to the Devil, the ball and chain, any connections that are no longer for their highest good, in separation, even if it hurts. Love, rain on me, okay? So him letting go to allow in the light. Have to let go of the rain, right? To get the sunshine. And then is there anything else? Yep, wants to come out. So this that was reversed in the read is now upright, walking away. So you see the sun is, everything's clearing, the rain. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Okay, so that's coming up. I can see all, is it obstacles in my way? Okay, so we've here, being present to the moment, seeing all the obstacles in his way. That clinging was not good for him, that he needed to allow the transformation, right? But this near-death experience allowed him to learn all of that, okay? Anything else wants to come? Any last words? All right, there's two little sections that want to come out, and that's done, but I'll show you the bottom of the deck before I forget to do that. Is the Hierophant. All right, so the Hierophant's there, and God was, Skytop was definitely coming out today, right? So this is God saying, peace, y'all. And then we have the Ace of Swords beneath that, right? In a split, the two worlds split, right? And dealing with the purging, ending the stress. Okay, here, recovering financially and practically, letting go of the purges or getting used to them. Splitting, pulling the sword from the stone to get clarity of it all about who he is. Okay, so then these three came out after the last three. This is the the 10 of Swords, the 6 of Swords reversed, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, right? So that's still working on the end of the pain, right? So the swords, this 10 of Swords is kind of going like this and upright. I did the same thing yesterday, so it's like back and forth. The masculine's ending the pain, and then a few little things come back to deal with, but overall ending the pain cycle. Still stuck in some emotions, trying to find peace, but needing assistance here, all right? Needing opportunity, needing help, just physical help with getting things done, but definitely needing a need of help or an invitation, that kind of thing. Still struggling to find peace, okay? Last two cards, the Magician reversed, right? So still struggling to find peace has to do with his insecurities, right? Feeling like he doesn't have the tools to come forward. And that's why he's hanging out and being wise, right? To try to transmute those insecurities so that then he can go, hello, I am in my power. I have the DNA, right? The Delaware Water Gap. And I have what we need to fill it. Okay, so this is where he's going here. He just needs to know it's okay to come forward. Okay, pretty beautiful, guys. Make sure you drink your water, get your rest. Even when you can't, just do your best. And don't beat yourself up about forgetting something in the other room. Be happy. No, don't worry. Be happy. All of that stuff. Rise and be love, guys. Bye.